So our second withdrawal agreement video, and this time I'm not in the car, I'm in the office, so we can get some decent sound on the video this time and not all that bumping around, and I can concentrate a bit better. And we have a great update for you now. In this video, we're going to talk to you about the people who got their residency or got their approval before the end of 2020, for January the 21st, 2020, and all those people who are now coming up for renewal. So stay tuned if that is you, because you've got some really interesting information coming up. So although I fluffed the intro a little bit, we're going to carry on because that was actually my third attempt. And I think this microphone, that thing that I've put up, may be putting me off slightly, but it doesn't matter. We're going to crack on. And hopefully the sound is slightly better than it has been in the past. And this is going to be also a great tool for our podcast, which we've got coming up. But anyway, who are we specifically talking about now when it comes to withdrawal agreement or the Brexit residencies, which happened 5 years ago? Well, specifically in this video, we're going to talk about people who got their TIE card straight away. Okay, so there was people living in Spain before this agreement came into place, and they had a green residency card, which was subsequently exchanged for a TIE card. And we're going to deal with that in a whole different video. Okay, so today we're only going to deal with people who came into Spain right at the back end, or really applied after around July 2019. Okay, and they would have got a document called a resolution. So they would have had to apply at the government, got an approval, and then gone with that approval to the police station and got a TIE card straight away. You wouldn't have had a card beforehand. So if that is you, then this video is really important. So the first thing is, most of you will be now needing to renew your cards if you went straight onto a TIE by getting your resolution from the government from July onwards this year. And what I said in the last video, we weren't really too sure what that was going to look like. And it turns out the police stations didn't really seem to be too sure either what was going to happen. But we've got some updated information now from Malaga. So we've visited all the police stations, and we've been into the main police station in the capital and asked them what they think is going to happen at that point. And could they contact also immigration, what we call the subdelegación, the government, to see whether people are going to have to first make an online application to get their permanent residency approval and then go for the TIE card, because that was our initial fear. Well, I can tell you now that in Malaga, they've told us that that isn't going to happen. Let's see when this all plays out. This is still something in the future, but the Málaga Comisaría, the foreigners officer in charge of giving out the TIE cards, they said to us that actually, do you know what? That isn't going to happen. We've spoken to immigration, and they said you don't have to apply to them first to get your permanent card. You can come straight to us and get your permanent card. So then we said, well, what is that actually going to look like then? What do we have to do, and when can we start that process? And this is where the information becomes a bit interesting, because if you read everywhere, generally, TIE cards, you can start the renewal process up to 60 days before they expire on a lot of residency platforms. If you look at the Brexit information, it actually says 30 days before expiry you can go and get your new card. But the Comisaría and the police, the people who are in charge of giving out these new cards, are absolutely 100% convinced that you won't be able to get your new card until the current one has expired. And why is that? Well, the thing is, on their computer systems, what they believe is they won't be able to issue the permanent card until the current one is expired. So after that 5-year point needs to have been reached to be able to give you a permanent card. The 5-year point is going to be from the date that your resolution was approved, because when you got your resolution approved, then you would have gone to get your TIE card, but it wouldn't have been the date that you got your TIE card, it would have been the date of the approval on there. So, which is different to visas. Visas are evidently the date of entry into the country, but here everybody got the date of their approval on the TIE card. So the first thing you need to do is check on your TIE card what date it expires and put that in your calendar. If you don't know, put it in your calendar, because what we're going to do here, and I'm doing this video really, to be honest with you, to get out. This is how the videos on the channel started, with me just getting out information for our potential clients or people are coming on board or current clients, so we don't have to repeat ourselves all the time in emails and stuff like that. And then evidently that generates questions, which generated more videos, which is great. So for people, we're already getting a lot of inquiries from people, and basically we had to put them into a holding pattern because we weren't too sure what the process was, and we weren't too sure what the cost is going to be of the service, and we're really early doors at the moment. So what we're doing at the moment is we're collecting all the names of everybody who we dealt with before, and new people who are coming to us and asking us, well, hang on a minute, I've got my resolution, my card runs out in September, how soon can I start the renewal? Well, it looks like you're not going to be able to book your appointment to go to do your renewal until that card expires, but then you have 90 days after the expiry of the card to then go there and renew it. So what we're saying to our clients is that we'll be contacting them around 2 months before the expiry date to let them know the next steps and what documents are involved. What do we know so far about the documents which are going to be needed? Well, so far, what they've told us is that you're only going to need your current residency card, the application form, which is an EX23, the model 79T012, which is the tax payment, and if you've changed your address, a padron certificate. Evidently, you have to take your passport as well to prove who you are. Children may need to take extra things like birth certificates, etc., etc. But that is the interpretation at the moment, currently, of the Comisaría, the people who are going to give out the cards. We don't know if that's going to change. Hence why it's quite difficult to give people specific information now. And when will we know when that's going to change? When we do the first one, for sure. It's going to be very much like any other interesting residency process, that you gain a lot of the interpretation of the Pacific police stations through experience and going. So what we know so far is that you're going to have to wait till expiry. You're going to have to take application forms. You're going to have to take taxes. You're going to have to take your passport. You're going to have to take your TIE card. If you've changed address, you're going to have to take an updated padron date within the last 90 days. They're not going to request proof of healthcare and proof of how you're funding your life in Spain, finances. That is so far what they're telling us. Whether that will be introduced in the future, we don't know. And you will then have your old card taken off of you. You'll be given a new card at that, or you'll be given a resguardo at that point, and you should receive then your permanent card about 40 days after that. Okay, so that's where we are. So all our clients, if the people who are interested in using our services, what we're doing, as I say, come on, get us your email. We put you into a holding pattern until you're at that 2-month period before your card expires. About a month to 2 months before. The reason we do that, because the appointments run a month to 2 months in advance, and we can time an appointment close enough to your expiry as possible. At that point, we're going to tell you how much the cost of the service is, because until we do the first one, we're not really too sure if they're going to complicate it a little bit or there's going to be extra stuff to do. But don't worry, it's not going to be that bad. We'll let you know the cost of the service. We'll let you know if we've got any updates, but keep watching the channel anyway, because we're going to be putting the updates on here. And then when your card expires, we'll be ready to hit the ground running and get you a new one. So guys, that's where we are at the moment with the withdrawal agreement. It's going to be really, really exciting. For those of you, don't worry about it. I've got people who are expiring in September, October, November. Don't worry. I'm going to keep doing updates on the channel of what we're learning about the withdrawal agreement processes. The people who are going to be the first ones in, our clients, I've already spoken to them, gone like the July guys. I go, listen, you guys are right at the front. This is how we're approaching it. Like they've told us, when we get there, we're going to see, pretty much sure that's how it's going to happen. But if it doesn't, don't worry, we'll inform you what you need to do. So there's absolutely nothing to worry about for the people who want to go onto permanent cards. I'm going to keep everybody updated, but that's where we are with the information. Just on a side note, for those of you who had green cards, then exchanged for a TIE card, and have now got to the 5-year point. You can now here in Malaga actually update that for a permanent one, but we always use the central Malaga station because they seem to understand it a lot more than the other police stations. As for other regions, at the moment we're pretty much getting it now done in Malaga. Not too sure about the rest of the provinces yet. Alicante have just sent us an incident note after they call it an incidencia. We basically raise a question with them. They then respond, and they also responded with, you have to go straight to the police station. Immigration don't have anything to do with it, but they didn't confirm the documents that were needed. What we do know is that in one of the stations in Alicante, we've been working with one of our translators there who got a early permanent card in Orihuela from a green card applicant who switched to a TIE card, got to their 5-year point, but the actual TIE card didn't expire for a year. Doesn't matter. They went early and got their permanent one. So we know that works there. We'll keep you updated when we've got more information. I'd imagine that most of our clients are going to be in Malaga anyway for this this service, because where we started out doing them. Okay, then. So that's your withdrawal agreement update. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe. We want to get to 5,000 subscribers on the channel. If you've got any comments or questions about this, write them below and I will try and answer them in our weekly update. So check the weekly updates out every week. I'm needing comments on there to keep that busy and informative for everybody else. And yeah, we'll be back soon with another video about either non-lucrative visa, registering vehicles in Spain, withdrawal agreement, EU residencies. Keep tuned to the channel.